you right now.
We wondered what you were doing over there, Wendy.
Jeff is easy to find, Wendy.
I was busy, but I did notice Jeff had moved. Listen, how does Russell Wilson fare against that zone, Jeff?
Well, listen, he leads the league. I mean, he's second in the league against zone. And what he does is he uses his eyes to take people out of position and be able to manipulate defenses. When teams run zones, they want to watch the quarterback's eyes. So you're looking right here. You're looking at San Francisco. Look at the linebackers. They see it. They sink in their zone. Look at Richard Sherman. Eyes in the backfield. Stops, sees the ball, makes the pick, gets downhill. So how do you combat it? If you're Russell Wilson, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my eyes to work you. I'm going to see the tight end. I'm going to track him. You see him. So what does Eric Reed do? He turns and follows the tight end. He shouldn't have. Next thing you know, you dump it off. Touchdown, all because of his manipulation with his eyes. Well done by Russell Wilson. Now, take it over to extending plays. Russell Wilson is incredible in this. He leads the league in QBR. He's got 12 tugs. Look at the extension of this. This is 4 seconds in the end zone. Not a 4-second play. That was 4 seconds after he got it. Eric Weddle's got no chance, and he puts the ball. It looks like he's throwing it away. Next thing you know, someone steps right in, touchdown, lock it right there. And so what do you have to do if you're the 49ers? You have to get pressure, whether it's Bosa, Armstead, you name it, Buckner, whoever it is. You have got to get pressure. When he begins to extend plays, get a body on a body. You saw Arizona Cardinals last week. They did a heck of a job of just hitting him repeatedly, making sure he knows you're there. So that clock in his head tells him, I got to get rid of it. Because if you give him time and he feels comfortable, you saw what he did in that earlier highlight. Man, he puts a ball in spaces that no man should be able to, and his receivers make plays for him, which is pretty remarkable.
Well, and he wanted no part of that from the Cardinals at some point, and you can't blame him. I mean,
no
it was early in offense.
Yeah, we saw Chandler Jones come free on the side. How would you like that? That dude coming
I wouldn't want it either.
No thanks.
Yeah,
no thanks.
I gotcha. Who do you like more, Mike, in this one?
I'll tell you what, if we were sitting here a week ago, I probably would have gone with Seattle. Great home field advantage. But they had so many injuries, and we've talked about what happened at running back. But to me, the key is Dwayne Brown. They're going to be missing an elite left tackle. And without Dwayne Brown, that Seattle offense hasn't been the same. And, oh, by the way, they're going against a really good San Francisco 49er front seven. And you could just see how much more productive the Seahawks have been since they've traded for Dwayne Brown. And this is the worst matchup possible.
Yes.
Look, D Ford may not play, but they still, between Eric Armstead, Buckner, obviously Nick Bosa. So to have George Fant out there, to me, I have to go with the 49ers because of that matchup.
Let me just say this. Mike, he's talking in my sweet ear, right? I mean, very rarely, Mike, do I get up on this TV set.
Get up on this TV set.
And do we have men talk about O-line play? I respect you, man. Hey, you know how games are what? Usually I got a quarterback to deal with. It's usually Hasselbeck talking about some kind of quarterback play. Thank God we got a man who knows ball, putting up stats about an offensive line. God bless you. God bless you.
Meanwhile, what did you say about the quarterback last week? Really, they got one quick job. One job to get out of the way.
Just do your job.
And we try to show Hasselbeck blocking early in the show.
Yeah, exactly. Chasing the play from the back, doesn't even matter. All you have to do is turn around and hand it off.
How bad? It's just that easy. Everybody can do it. How badly does Richard Sherman want this one?
Oh, I'll say this too. The other part about Richard Sherman, and as much zone as they like to run, think about what he's telling these guys in his locker room, in his meeting room with the DBs. He has practiced against Russell Wilson forever, right? He knows all his tendencies. He knows what he likes to do. He's talking about his shoulder turn. When does he really break his hand to throw the ball? I can guarantee you Richard Sherman is giving these guys, he is giving them level 4 classes in how to read, how to respond to Russell Wilson. Because you and I, we all know he wants this thing bad, not only for the 1 seed, not only for the bye, but just to put it to his old team. There's nothing better.
And here's what else really plays into Richard Sherman's hands. When you have multiple injuries at the same position in football, it's really hard to overcome. We talked about losing C.J. Prosite, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. That's going to make Seattle more one-dimensional. When they're more one-dimensional and Russell Wilson's not play-action passing, which is his strength, it goes to the strength of people like Richard Sherman, Nick Bosa, and I just feel like the way this game is set up, Seattle's weaknesses are going to play into San Francisco's strengths.
Well, it's not just one injury, too. You just rattled them off. It was one after another after another. I mean, there comes a point when it's just hard to overcome.
Yes.
I mean, and that we'll see if that's where Seattle is. To one big man to another in San Fran, off the field, 49ers tight end George Kittle is a self-described goofball. He loves to have fun and live life to the fullest. But on the field, Kittle is crushing it. He's reached 2,000 career receiving yards in just his 33rd career game. His success on and off the field and how he approaches life are best understood through the pregame letters he gets from his best friend, who happens to be his father, Bruce. Here's Michelle Beisner-Buck.
Dear George, this is about you and those magical 49ers. Every team has good players, and on any given Sunday, just about any team can beat any other team. I pen a letter to him, just kind of talking about all kinds of stuff. So what ends up making the difference? Controlling the things that you can control. Your attitude, your energy, your effort. It's you. A lot of it has to do with tying the game of football to the game of life. Go hard and fight for it, but in a relaxed kind of way. Edgy, but not stressed. Love you, have a great game, and I'll see you after. Love, Pops.
Throughout George Kittle's football career, which has seen him evolve from backup at the University of Iowa to all-pro with the 49ers, every game day has started the same way, with a letter from his father, Bruce.
Really, in the beginning, I did it for me as much as for him. That separation that any parent goes through when your kids go off to college, the letters gave me at least a 5-minute window if he read them, that he could actually listen to my voice. And that for me as a connection to him was really, really important.
These are not just little, hey, good luck, George, post-it notes. They are well thought out.
Very in-depth. My dad is a very talented writer, and so he tells a story every letter.
The letters, which George reads on his ride to the stadium before every game, contain matchup histories, football tactics, and regular pop culture references.
If I'm accurately reading kind of where he's at mentally and emotionally, I don't know that the actual content really matters. So whether I talked about Lord of the Rings or the Spider-Man movie or whatever it was, those are all just mechanisms in order to try to trigger him.
How does it mentally prepare you and get you in that game day mode, these letters?
So I'm usually, you can ask anybody, I'm kind of a goofy guy.
Can you smell what the Niners are cooking?
I like to have fun. I'm just always in a goofy mood. Like I always try to make people laugh and have a good time. But game day, you kind of have to lock in. That letter is just, that's what I always use as my first switch. The letters, that's like the warm-up button. We literally talk about the transformation from walking from the concrete and putting your feet on the turf. The player that is George Kittle for the 49ers is not the George Kittle that walks around the facility, is not the George Kittle that is my son. It's a different George Kittle, and it should be.
Bruce has written George more than 70 letters since the tradition started, each of them unique, but one stands above the rest.
Before the Rams game, when I broke the record, it just brought up memories of the times that we spent in the backyard playing football together. This is how I've been playing for this my entire life.
Stone Cold Kittle, NFL record-setting touchdown catch. Oh, I love that. George Kittle, most receiving yards by a tight end.
I think my encouragement was keep your feet on the ground, keep your head on straight, look forward, focus on the things in front of you. Don't listen to the distractions.
1,377 yards. That is awesome.
What happens if, for whatever reason, you don't get a letter?
So he used to handwrite all of them. And then there was a time where he got to the wrong mailbox or something like that. So I told him on game day, hey, I don't have a letter yet. And so he typed it up real quick and emailed it to me so I could read it on my phone. I almost had a little nervous breakdown. I was like, hey, come on, do your job. I don't know exactly at this stage in his career what I have to offer him, but he keeps telling me that he still likes to open them. And so, because I had that conversation with him this year, kind of like, I'm okay if you're okay. And he said, oh, no, you got to keep writing. So as long as he says he still likes reading them, I'll keep writing them.
What do these letters mean to you?
Everything. Just the fact that, he takes the time to do it every single week. He's always shown that, he's so happy and he's so proud of me and that I'm living my dream. If I can make my dad proud of me, then it's all that matters.
You don't want me to turn around?
Yeah, it's Christmas. Turn around, Mike. There we go. Thank you, gentlemen. Listen, we did this with the AFC. We'll do it now with the NFC quarterbacks. A little window shopping, if you will. Sometimes you're just looking, and sometimes you're serious about making a change. What's interesting about the Dallas Cowboys, they paid a lot of folks. Dak Prescott has yet to be among them. Mike, are you window